Hey, good Tuesday evening, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. You know what time it is. It's time for the evening briefing. Good evening, my friend. Boy, it is great to be with you. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful ocean here. A little bit of a breeze, but it's the same old breeze we get every afternoon here. It gets a little bit breezy, and that's what we're looking at. But it was an absolutely gorgeous day out on the water. Listen to me. I've got some white sea bass news that you're going to want to know. You want to catch a slug white sea bass here this weekend? I got some news for you that you're going to want to hear. At least I think you're going to want to hear it. Also, the Island Spirit, we'll talk about her. She's trying to get out tomorrow morning. Just a little bit more time to make those reservations. If she doesn't run tomorrow, she will run Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Ventura Sport Fishing. I have some news on that also. And of course, I want to let you know that our Independence trip that sails on April the 21st is sold out with a waiting list now. So I can't wait to fish with you on that trip. That recent catch of bluefin tuna adds an air of optimism to our trip. There's a lot of yellows down there and so much more. All right, let me ask you, plead with you to hit that like button. Deeply appreciate it when you do that. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. And also tick that little bell. You will be notified when there is new content. Also, you can catch us over there on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. Hope you're able to check us out over there also because we have a lot of other information there. All right, I'm going to leave the white sea bass situation for just a little bit longer. I want to tell you that on board the Monte Carlo today, there was a whole bunch of Friedman Adventures family members, and in addition to that, there was a bunch of other passengers. Presumably, some of those guys were also Friedman Adventure family members. Man, I got to tell you, what a great day they had on the half-day boat Monte Carlo today at a 22nd Street landing in San Pedro, California. Absolutely fantastic. They limited everybody out on reds in 180 feet of water. And then they went out in the deeper water, caught some chili peppers and other species. Beautiful weather, great day, fun fishing. Let me share this with you. It's just a small video about the day on the Monte Carlo.
Doing good? How's the fishing?
That's the deckhand on board the Monte Carlo, Brian Burrell, a dear friend of mine and really a great person. You're looking at anglers gathering at 22nd Street Landing earlier today, anticipating a great trip on board the Monte Carlo. They're going to head offshore in half-day range and see if they can entice a couple of rockfish to bite. The local rockfish bite has been really excellent, and Brian is preparing the bait right now, cutting copious amounts of squid up so the anglers on board can have at it. There's also a good tank full of anchovy. Is there anything better than a boat burger expertly prepared on board the Monte Carlo? The folks on board, and I want you to see their smiling faces, were having fun just getting to know one another. But there is one missing ingredient, and that's to get to the fishing. And the fishing was outstanding. Michael Limon was there, Dan Lightfoot, Mackey, Bob Gifford, so many others who make up the Friedman Adventures family, all having a good time and getting to know others on board. And then Anthony went around with the camera and asked people how they were doing.
Wide open on the reds.
Red, salmon grouper, sand dabs.
What'd you guys catch?
Reds.
Reds? Reds? What'd you guys catch? Oh yeah, let's see it. Bring it up over here. That's a red. How's it going, Brian? Doing good? How's the fishing?
Excellent.
What'd you catch? A lot of reds. Did you catch anything? Buddy?
Yeah.
Did you catch anything? Some reds?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
The anglers on board the Monte Carlo were fishing in 180 feet of water and caught their limits of reds. So they started to chop up some more squid, and now they were going to head out into 400 feet of water to see how they could do.
Go down. So as you do that, you pull it up. Or as the boat goes up, you want to put your rod down. As the boat goes
fishing was so good that Michael Limon had to take a little nappy poo on deck. Great fishing. You can see chili peppers, boccaccio, and other species. Just another day on the water. Another fantastic day with the great crew of the Monte Carlo and all the wonderful people who showed up for this memorable trip. That looked like so much fun. Man, I wish I could have been there. But I've been slaving away today, trying to edit up the next day of our Independence long range trip. I think it's day 5 or 6. It's nighttime yellowtail at Alijos Rocks. I'm knee deep in the editing. I hope to have that out for you tomorrow. I will be working hard on that. Also, I talked to Captain Daniel Hadaway up there on the Island Spirit. His most recent trip on Sunday, they had a bunch of kids on the boat with adults, and they had over 400 rockfish. The weather in the Channel Islands right now is absolutely gorgeous. It can't get any more lovely than it is. Beautiful season. Cod are biting. Man, there's a mix of boccaccio. There's a chance some days at a halibut or a white sea bass. There's tons of reds. It's just really great bottom fishing up there. And you can get on the Island Spirit by calling 805-676-3474, or you can just go to VenturaSportFishing.com and you can get on board the Island Spirit. Don't forget, everybody, I have already covered today. And if you're interested in what's going on in Mexico, long range, all this whole Southern California area, go to the morning briefing. Go check that out. It has all that information and more. The evening briefing is to get you up to speed on some new developing stuff that's happening in the sport fishing world. So go to the morning briefing. Today, we taped it this morning. And of course, every morning, I do the MB right here in Surfside, California. My pleasure. It's such an honor to be welcomed into your homes and places of business or wherever it is you're watching the morning briefing. I really appreciate it. And I'll be here tomorrow morning with more breaking news. Let's get to the white sea bass situation. I do have breaking news on this. So, as you know from listening to our morning briefing and all our breaking news reports, on Sunday, the Amigo at a 22nd Street landing in San Pedro had limits of white sea bass, 1 per rod right now, but they were gorgeous fish. I talked to an angler who was on the trip. His name is Justin. He said, Phil, these are quality big sea bass. These are not little small sea bass, 30 to 40 pound fish, biting on live squid, 40 pound fluorocarbon, about an 8-ounce torpedo sinker, and 2 feet off the bottom with a live squid. That's how they caught their limits. Now, here's the breaking news, all right? Here's what you really want to hear. Jason Lawler is the galley cook on board the Amigo. He can't take it. He wants to be out there fishing 24/7. He absolutely loves this sport. And he's a good friend of mine. And he said, Phil, I couldn't take it. I went out yesterday, 3 of us, and we limited out on big slug sea bass, and we had the feeling that we could have caught a whole lot more. So for Jason, this was yesterday. They were still biting and still really big fish and still being taken the way I just described it to you, with a dropper loop and just off the bottom with some live squid. Phenomenal fishing. Look at those fish. Look at the size of those white sea bass. They are beautiful. And yes, the Amigo has scheduled a trip for Thursday night, for Saturday night. They're going to this exact zone where these big slug white sea bass are still biting. We still know that they're biting. Now, will they bite on Friday or, you run Thursday night? I don't know. You never know, okay? You just never know. Will they bite on Sunday when they run on Saturday night? You just never know. All I can tell you is that we've got some consistency to this. It's a couple days, which may not be a ton of time, but there is some consistency here. When the Amigo goes out there and makes that catch on Sunday, and then Jason goes out in his private boat and catches these big white sea bass, that tells me that there's eager fish there, and they may want to bite for a few more days. White sea bass are squirrely fish. They're called ghosts for a reason, because they're here one moment and then they ghost you the next. Kind of like that last girl that you hooked up with on Tinder. She ghosted you. And that's what these fish will do to you on a fairly regular basis. But I'm hoping that we get some consistency out of this thing. And I'm hoping you give 22nd Street Landing a call right now and book on the Amigo. Thursday night should be a light load. I would think you're going to get out fairly light and be able to catch one of these big monster slug white sea bass. And I'm hoping that on Friday, you'll come in and put on our YouTube channel a comment saying, man, you were right on, we caught our sea bass. That would really be fantastic. Hopefully that's the way it plays out. But once again, no guarantees. I just like the fact that Jason went and made that catch after the Amigo made that tremendous catch also. Ton of chovy in the bait, and that's making people think albacore this year. I'll be doing my albacore prediction here very, very soon and letting you know what I think about this year. I've blown it for the past 4 years, so what the heck is another year to blow it for all of you? All right, my friends, if you like our charter list, almost sold out now on the May 30th Island Spirit trip. We leave at a special time, 5:30 in the morning. In fact, the tax man, Tim Marquez, he just booked a moment ago. I love Tim. Such a great guy, and he's going to be on there with 3 other friends. There's Joe Welker's going to be on that trip. Your garage door man. There's all kinds of guys that are going to be on that great trip, and I can't wait for that one. You know, in May, that could be barracuda and calico bass. It could be more rockfish, halibut, white sea bass. You just never know. If you want to get on that trip, you want to get on our reverse 2.5-day trip on board the Apollo out of 22nd Street Landing in June, leaving at 10 in the morning. No matter where we have to go, we'll be there at the perfect time on a trip like that. That is such a great trip. And then we have an Apollo trip in September down there out of C4 Sport Fishing. We have a trip to Ensenada, Baja California with yours truly and my co-host, Paulina. We want to welcome you all down for that. If you want the schedule on all of the things that Friedman Adventures is doing, including we need to plan another surf fishing event down here. Had nearly 200 people here the last time we did an event. That was incredible, and I still am in debt to all of you who came out that cold early morning on my birthday. I really, really appreciate it. Just send me a text, 657-227-6459, and I'll send you the list of what we're up to and keep you in the loop from then on. All right, my friends, what can I tell you? Morning briefing ought to be great tomorrow. But right now, when I heard that news from Jason that they had caught some fish and big sea bass, I was stoked. That told me there is some consistency to it. Great day on the Monte Carlo today also. I loved all the boys out there having so much fun together. That was great to see that. My friend Brian Burrell, and I assume Walt ran the boat. I worked with Walt back in the 1970s in Redondo. So Walt is a longtime friend of mine also. I've known him for decades upon decades upon decades. Oh my God, I'm getting old. He's a great guy, and man, I'm so happy all you guys had a great time on board the Monte Carlo. Big sea bass, limits on board the Amigo on Sunday, backed up by the galley cook, Jason Lawler, going on his private boat and putting the wood to some big, fat WSBs. Will they bite again? I got my fingers crossed as a helicopter is flying over my head. I'm hoping that Thursday night on the Amigo's a good one, and Saturday night too. Call 22nd Street Landing at 310-832-8304 and get on board the Amigo for that very, very special trip. All right, my friends, a beautiful evening. Hope you're doing well. And as always, I'll see you in the morning for the morning briefing. If I don't see you then, I hope to see you again really, really soon. Have a great one and take good care of yourself.
Okay. And if that garage door is giving you a problem, then you're going to want to call your garage door man. That's Joe Welker. Tax problems? Nobody better than our friend Tim Marquez. Tim's been doing taxes for 35 years. Give the tax man a call today. And for your heating and or air conditioning needs, you're going to want to talk to our dear friend John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning.